Imagine your boss walks up to your desk tomorrow morning, sets down an envelope, and says, "Hey, every time you put $1 in this account, I'll match it, dollar for dollar. No strings attached. It's yours to keep." What would you do? Most people would say, obviously, I'd take every single dollar. And yet, roughly 40 million Americans are leaving exactly that money on the table right now, every single year. Not because they're lazy, not because they're bad with money, not because they don't care about their future, but because of one specific misunderstanding. A misunderstanding so subtle, so easy to miss, that even smart, financially aware people fall into it every single day. Today, we're going to fix that, and by the end of this video, you'll understand something that most people spend their entire careers never figuring out. And if you're new here, welcome. My name's Zaki. This channel is where we break down money, investing, and the psychology behind why we make the financial decisions we do. Without the jargon, without the complexity, just real talk that actually makes sense. If that sounds like something you've been looking for, you're in the right place. Here's the thing about 401k matching. On the surface, it sounds simple. Your employer offers to match a portion of what you put into your retirement account. You contribute, they contribute. Easy. But somewhere between understanding it and actually doing it, something goes wrong for millions of people. And honestly, it's not entirely their fault. Most of us grew up in households where the conversation about money was complicated. Either there wasn't enough of it, or it felt too stressful to talk about, or nobody sat us down and walked us through how the system actually worked. So we entered the workforce doing what most people do. We figured things out as we went. We guessed. We followed what our coworkers were doing. We clicked whatever the default settings were when HR handed us the enrollment paperwork on day one of a new job, distracted and overwhelmed. And one of the beliefs we quietly absorbed, incorrectly, was this: contributing to a 401k means losing access to my paycheck. That one belief, that one small, invisible misunderstanding, is costing people hundreds of thousands of dollars over a lifetime. Let's break down exactly why and exactly how.
First, let's make sure we're all on the same page about what a 401k actually is, because this is where a lot of the confusion starts. A 401k is a retirement savings account that you get through your employer. The name comes from the section of the U.S. tax code that created it. Not the most exciting origin story, but it helps to know it's a legal structure, not a product someone's selling you. Here's what makes it genuinely special. The money you put in comes out of your paycheck before it gets taxed. So if you earn $4,000 a month and you put $400 into your 401k, you only pay income taxes on $3,600. The government is essentially saying, we'll let you delay paying taxes on this money until you retire, at which point you're likely in a lower tax bracket anyway. That's already a solid deal on its own. But the employer match, that's where it becomes something extraordinary. Let's say your company offers what's commonly called a 50% match up to 6% of your salary. That phrase can sound like alphabet soup the first time you hear it, but stay with me. It's actually very straightforward once you see it in action. Say you make $60,000 a year. 6% of that is $3,600. So if you contribute $3,600 to your 401k over the course of the year, that's $300 a month, your employer automatically adds another $1,800 on top of it. $1,800 that you didn't clock extra hours for, that you didn't negotiate for, that didn't require a performance review or a promotion. It just materialized in your account because you put your own money in first. Now, here's the psychological trap. When people look at their paycheck and see that $300 is being deducted every month, their brain doesn't process it as I'm investing $300 and immediately getting $150 for free. Their brain processes it as I am losing $300 this month. That reframe from gain to loss changes everything about how the decision feels.
There's a well-studied concept in behavioral psychology called loss aversion. The research behind it, pioneered by psychologists Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky, shows that people feel the pain of losing something roughly twice as intensely as they feel the pleasure of gaining the equivalent
equivalent amount. Losing $300 doesn't just feel bad. It feels approximately twice as bad as gaining $300 feels good. So when someone is already stretched financially, already watching every dollar, the idea of voluntarily reducing their paycheck by even a small amount triggers a genuine emotional response. Not irrationality, not laziness, a deeply human, deeply wired instinct to protect what you already have. The problem is that instinct is misfiring here, because here's what's actually happening. You're not giving up $300, you're trading $300 for $450. Let that sit for a moment. Before the stock market touches your money, before a single share is bought or sold, before compound interest runs a single calculation, you have already made a 50% return guaranteed the instant your employer deposits their match. No stock picks, no market timing, no risk analysis required. A clean, immediate, guaranteed 50% return just for showing up and participating. There is nothing else in the financial world that offers that. Not index funds, not real estate, not bonds, not a high-yield savings account. Nothing gives you a guaranteed same-day 50% return on your money, and millions of people are declining it.
Now let's zoom out, because the match is just the beginning. That $1,800 per year in employer contributions doesn't sit still. It gets invested, typically in a selection of index funds or mutual funds inside your 401k, and it starts to grow through the power of compound interest. Compounding is one of those concepts that sounds technical, but is actually beautifully simple once you picture it the right way. Imagine a snowball at the top of a long hill. At first, it's small. Each rotation picks up just a thin layer of new snow. But as it grows, it gains more surface area. And more surface area means more snow collected with every spin. The bigger it gets, the faster it grows. Given a long enough hill, that tiny snowball becomes something that could flatten a car. That's compounding. You earn returns not just on your original money, but on your returns. Then you earn returns on those returns. Growth stacking on growth, spinning faster and faster the longer it runs. Here's what that means in real numbers. If you start contributing at age 25 and you receive that $1,800 per year in employer match, just the free money, not even counting your own contributions, and those investments grow at a historically reasonable annual average of 7%, by the time you're 65, you'll have accumulated somewhere around $380,000 from the employer match alone. $380,000 from money your employer handed you, money that was already set aside, waiting with your name on it. Now, consider the person who started the same job at 25, looked at that $300 monthly deduction, felt the sting of loss aversion, and opted out. By 65, they haven't just missed $1,800 per year, they've missed $380,000. That's not a rounding error, that's a retirement. But here's something most people don't talk about. It's not only the people who contribute nothing who miss out. There's a second, quieter group that also loses, and they're often the hardest to reach because they think they're already doing the right thing. These are the people who contribute, but not enough to capture the full match. Go back to our example. The employer matches 50% of contributions up to 6% of salary. The critical phrase is up to 6%. If you contribute only 3% of your salary, you receive a match on 3%. You're getting free money, but only half as much as you could be. You found the benefit, reached toward it, and stopped halfway. This happens all the time, and it happens for a very understandable reason. People choose a contribution rate that feels psychologically comfortable, something small enough that the paycheck deduction doesn't hurt too much. And once they've set it, they forget about it. Life moves on. The enrollment form is filed away, and quietly, every single paycheck, they leave a portion of their match unclaimed. Years go by, raises come and go. The contribution rate never changes. This is the version of the problem that's hardest to see because it looks responsible for From the outside, you're saving for retirement. You're getting some employer match. You feel like you're handling your finances, but there's a gap between what you're getting and what's available. And that gap, compounded over decades, represents a staggering amount of lost wealth. The fix is straightforward. Find out your employer's exact match formula, calculate what percentage of your salary gets you to the full match, and make sure your contribution rate hits that threshold. Not more, just that. Just enough to stop leaving money behind.
Now, I want to address the most honest objection to all of this. I hear you, but I genuinely cannot afford to contribute more right now. My rent went up, I have student loans, I'm dealing with credit card debt. The math doesn't work for my life. This is real. This is valid. This is the situation a lot of people are actually in. And I'm not going to tell you it's simple when it isn't. But I want to offer one specific idea that might reframe the problem. Most people at some point in their career receive a raise. It might be 2%, it might be 4%. For a lot of workers, some form of annual increase is expected, even if it's modest. Here's the question. When that raise hits your paycheck, what happens to the extra money? For most people, it gets absorbed. The lifestyle quietly adjusts upward. The slightly nicer lunch, the subscription that didn't feel worth it before but feels fine now, the extra spending that doesn't feel like extra spending because it just becomes the new normal. What if instead you committed to directing just half of each raise into your 401k? Your take-home pay still increases, your life still improves, but your contribution rate also climbs, painlessly, invisibly, because you never had the extra money in the first place. You can't miss what you never held. This approach was formalized by behavioral economists Shlomo Benartzi and Richard Thaler into a program they called Save More Tomorrow. The core insight was elegant. Rather than asking people to accept a present sacrifice for a future benefit, which loss aversion makes very difficult, you ask them to commit future raises to savings before those raises arrive. You're not fighting human psychology, you're working with it. And in trials, it worked remarkably well. Participants dramatically increased their savings rates over time without ever feeling like they gave something up.
There's something worth sitting with here that goes beyond tactics and numbers. We live in a financial culture that celebrates the dramatic move, the perfectly timed trade, the startup equity that becomes life-changing, the asset that doubles. These stories circulate constantly, and they quietly shape what we believe wealth building is supposed to look like: exciting, fast, clever. And because of that framing, the boring moves get underestimated, not because they don't work, but because they don't make good stories. 401k matching is the definition of a boring move. Nothing exciting happens. You don't get alerts on your phone. There's no moment of triumph. You just incrementally, consistently, over many years, accumulate wealth quietly and almost automatically. But boring doesn't mean unimportant. In fact, the most reliable path to financial security isn't built on brilliant decisions. It's built on avoiding avoidable mistakes and walking away from guaranteed free money year after year for an entire career is one of the most expensive mistakes a person can make without ever realizing they made it. The people who end up financially secure in retirement often don't have dramatic wealth-building stories. They don't have a moment where they cracked the code. They just consistently did the unsexy thing. They contributed to their 401k. They took the full match. They let it compound for decades. And one day they looked up and realized they had built something substantial, not from a windfall, but from patience. And hey, if you're finding this useful, go ahead and hit subscribe. I put out videos every week on exactly this kind of stuff. The money traps most people never see coming, the psychology behind financial decisions, and the simple moves that actually move the needle. It's free, it takes 2 seconds, and honestly, future you will probably appreciate it. All right, back to it. So here's what I'm asking you to do. This week, not when you have more time, not when your finances feel more stable. This week, go find out exactly what your employer's match formula is. It's usually in your benefits package or on your HR portal. If you can't find it, send a quick email and ask. Then, check what you're currently contributing. If the number is lower than what's required to get the full match, figure out what a 1% or 2% increase would look like on your actual paycheck. You might be surprised. A 1% contribution increase on a $50,000 salary is about $42 per month before the tax benefit. After the tax savings from contributing pre-tax dollars, the real impact on your take-home might be closer to $30 or $35. And if your employer matches that contribution at 50%, you're getting $500 per year added to your account for a net cost of roughly $35 per month. That is not a sacrifice. That is one of the best financial trades available to you. Access, some perfect timing. Here's the thought I want to leave you with. We often talk about wealth building like it requires some special knowledge, some insider access, some perfect timing, like the game is rigged and the average person is always a step behind. But 401k matching isn't part of that game. It doesn't require timing. It doesn't require expertise. It doesn't require you to outthink anyone. It just requires you to show up, understand what's available to you, and reach out and take it. The money is already there. Your employer set it aside for you. The government gave it favorable tax treatment. The math, the compounding, the guaranteed return is already working in your favor. The only variable is whether you decide to participate. You now understand how it works. You know what the trap looks like. You know how to avoid it and how to help someone else avoid it too. The rest, as always, is just the decision to begin. And that's really it. No secret strategy, no complicated system, just free money sitting there, waiting, and the simple decision to go pick it up. If this video helped things click for you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Seriously, forward it to a coworker, a friend, a younger sibling just starting their first job. This is the kind of thing most people figure out way too late, and you might just save someone a lot of money. And if you want to keep learning this stuff, I've got a video right up here on the biggest money mistakes people make in their 20s and 30s. It pairs really well with everything we talked about today. I'm Zaki. I'll see you in the next one.